This is a kind of a video I'm going to try to make to myself. If I'm talking to myself, I'm going to be as to you, person of the past, or I'm talking to you, person of the future person of me going to be watching this in the future. I'm talking to you. Not really talking. Doesn't really matter who else hears this. That's if somebody else hears this and they watch this, and that's no big deal. So, but I'm really concerned about what feelings are happening to other consciousnesses. That I'm very much aware that I'm just one out of many other humans. That there's nothing, I'm not in any way more important or special or any kind of, that there's of lesser or more of a level of importance upon me as a person as anyone else. So I recognize that everyone else is just as much a right to their own trying to be happy in their own path and their own what they want to do in their life. I understand that. I've tried to realize that eating the meat of animals or using animal products, that there was a little being there was a creature there that existed as that living organism, had to go through their own sleep and waking and being hungry and being tired and being sore, being cold, being too hot or cramped, or that being had to endure discomfort. The critter, the little chicken or the little turkey or that little animal that was in a cage. It had to live in a cage and be confined, and it had to endure through cold winter nights, and it had to be be pushed around and be in a very claustrophobic. It had to be kept in a very confined area of space. It wasn't allowed any fresh air or any real freedom, so it was lived a very horrible life for its maximum profit. So it was only so whoever was tending to the animal only was concerned about making money, and that animal was going to be sold for meat. And then I bought it and ate it. As I ate the meat, as I ate that animal or used parts of that animal, I was feeling pleasant feelings in my mouth while I was eating that part of the animal. I'm sorry if the animals could hear me, if those animals were here alive, and I had to take care of them and support them and make up for what I did as I was living by eating them. That I'm sorry for that. I wish I could have started off earlier as a younger person and been vegan when I was in my early teens. That I didn't have enough fortitude or enough support around me or emotionally. I wasn't committed enough in that part of my life to realize what I was doing at that time in my past. But now I am concerned, as an individual, and also the implications as far as the climate and regional biography and the ecology of the area, and about how one animal species may interfere with another animal species. They're competing for land and resources. There's predatory animals that live out in the wild areas. There's a lot of the problems that are caused by holding ponds that hold a lot of manure, a lot of the effluent from raising animals and caging animals. There's a lot of soil problems, and nitrates are high levels of nitrates are drained off into the rivers, and it creates you have these dead zones where the rivers go into the ocean. So for all the fertilizers are running off from the chicken farms and the pig farms and the cattle ranches, or all the crap, all the shit is. And then they're cutting, they keep cutting down more and more forests, or forests are being cut down so that they can graze more cattle. And then they're growing a lot of the soy and the grain for the cows to feed the cattle, to feed the chickens and the pigs. And there's a lot of people that make their living and their livelihood from raising animals. I feel sorry for those people. I'm sorry that I don't support you and that I don't buy your products. So in a way, I'm like, I'm not politically aligning myself with you because of my own personal values. This is what something I've chosen to do because of my own personal experiences that I have as an individual living person. I don't want to expose any other living thing to a feeling of feeling alive and being harmed and being kept confined and being treated in a way that it lives a horrifying existence from its own from its point of view. From a philosophical point of view, there is another consciousness there that's experiencing reality and being alive, and you're another consciousness because you have a bigger brain that gives you superior being able to force your will upon another little individual being to have to go through a life. You're not eating that, you're not consuming that, you're not in any way participating in that process of raising it, feeding it, taking care of it, and then and butchering it and consuming it. So I feel better that I'm more aligning my own values in my own life with that, with trying to live a plant-based diet. The plant-based diet being more and more and more for a strong ethical reason than just for if there is any kind of health benefits, which there is considerable amount of health benefits for um, going into a plant-based diet. You know, it could lessen the effects of diabetes. It could cause less of a chances of getting a heart condition or a cholesterol buildup in the body, or that's from or a disease or an illness that's caused from eating animals, more so than any other kind of disease. So, you know, if there's other conditions that happen in your colon, there's things that happen in your body from if you switch to plant-based diet and you eat a lot of healthy vegetables, fresh fruit, fresh greens, salad greens, and beans and rice and potatoes, and you know, all the balance. Get a variety of foods that are nutritionally superior, vegetable foods, and take advantage of there being non-dairy products too. Like you could get, you know, almond milk and rice milk, and there's like soy milk, and there's different soy products you can get that are good substitutes for meats. And you'll realize that you can ease yourself off of the dairy too, because you realize, well, the animal has to be raised, it has to be slaughtered after it's raised, and then the milk's taken off of it, then it has to be killed and culled. You know, so there's all those other factors. Even if you do vegetarian, which is cheese and milk, there's still that animal there. So you have to think about that, you know. So if you're concerned about, if you're just doing this for being slim and trim and looking good, looking sexy, looking attractive, having nice clear skin, and you know, everything, your physical appearance, you look trim and you look like sleek, and you don't have a lot of body fat that's hanging off your body because you're all plant-based diet and you've lost a lot of that fat. So you could do that for cosmetic reasons too, but for the number one reason anyone should try to just ease themselves away from animal products into plant-based diet is for their their conscience. You know, if you believe the animals are consciousness, or if other animals other than human animals have consciousness of any kind, and you're a compassionate person, you care about the well-being of other people, then and other living things, and you should be concerned about your diet. It should be like you should ethically, you should really soul search and do hard thinking about what you're eating and how that affects other living things. Thanks for listening.